Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, if you are a recurring viewer or a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. I really appreciate you all being here today. I have a bit of a rambly discussion video about my latest read, and that is Anne Proux's The Shipping News. I finished this morning, and so I wanted to sit down and now getting home from work to talk about it a little bit. This is by no stretch of the imagination a official review or anything of the like. Just a very, very brief sort of me just sharing some of my thoughts about it. So this is my second novel to read by Anne Proulx. The first was her novel Barkskins, which I did talk about on my channel a couple videos back, and I absolutely adored that novel. It was sprawling, close to 800 pages, a generational saga about Canadian loggers, a subject that I really wouldn't typically think I would be interested in, but that novel is absolutely incredible. I would highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys a really long timeline, a novel that covers multiple generations. It does it excellently. And so I wanted to read more by Anne Proulx, and I decided to land on The Shipping News. So I did read it on Kindle, but I also listened to it through Hoopla, through my local library, on audiobook as well. So I was able to split it between audio and the text, and the narrator for the audiobook was absolutely fantastic. So it was a really wonderful listening experience. So I had the audio, and then I had the Kindle book as well. I mean, it took me about 4 or 5 days to read it, so not too long. It's not at all as long as Barkskins. It's just over 300 pages. So compared to Barkskins, it's quite a short novel. But it is an incredible moving, it's an incredibly moving book. I cannot speak. I apologize. The basic plot is we follow a man named Coyle, and he is a middle-aged man or entering into his middle age, and he is finding himself unfulfilled in life. A series of disasters, family tragedies sees him move with his aunt and his 2 daughters from New York State up to Newfoundland in Canada to start a new life and to start a new job as the editor of a shipping news column for a small local newspaper, hence the title, The Shipping News. The story encapsulates lots of these small episodes in Coyle's life and in his family's life. We get little bits and pieces of his backstory and of some of the other characters' backstories, but as far as sort of novel setup, we don't get a whole lot. It really, Anne Proulx really drops you right into the center of the story as it's happening. And so we do get this interesting feeling of being able to experience the narrative unfold right alongside our characters. We do get some flashbacks, we do get some character information, but not as much as other novels give you. And I actually enjoyed that because it doesn't give you really any bias about a particular character. You evaluate them at face value for their actions and their interactions as they play out, instead of having sort of a preconceived notion about someone because of a flashback or a piece of information given about their past, which I found really, really interesting. Something about format that I enjoyed about this novel is that each chapter starts with an excerpt from a sailor's knot book. So it gives a different sailor's knot and then a small paragraph describing the use and the function of that particular knot. And always it ties in with the theme of that particular chapter, which I thought added just another very creative way of conveying the movement of the story, sort of tying in, not pun, sort of tying in these pieces of nautical life, of nautical function into the story of Coyle and his family's life. Which, it just added something interesting at the beginning of each chapter, and there's an illustration of each knot, a nice pen and ink illustration. So it adds another level of depth to the layout, and it makes the page look really nice. And I know it's not important necessarily to have an aesthetically pleasing page layout. The text and the story is still conveyed the same even if it's poorly laid out, but I do really appreciate a well laid out and a well designed page. I do find it's much more pleasurable to read a pleasing page than sort of when it's all just sort of stacked and together and it doesn't really look like there was any care put into it. So I liked seeing those little sort of knot motifs at the beginning of each chapter, if you will. So that's all I have really right now to share about it. I just wanted to sit down and get a video out about it since I just finished it. It was an incredibly enjoyable read, very moving. The character and the characterization is incredibly well done. I really enjoyed the dialogue and the very short, snappy sentences that really pull you through the narrative. So if you do not have The Shipping News by Anne Proulx on your TBR, I would highly recommend it, particularly if you are interested in sort of family sagas over somewhat of a lengthy timetable, and then with elements of sort of maritime industry thrown in as well. I'll show the cover one more time because I really love this cover. We have this glacier, and then you see this lighthouse on this rock outcropping in the ocean. The text lays over on top. Again, care of detail. I think this is an absolutely stunning cover, and I would love to get this in a hardback or a paperback at some point if I could find one. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you would like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, and happy reading.